Good morning, guys. What is up? And we are back. So I want to talk about a few things, today. But first, I actually have to run. I'm gonna install a wideband on this car. I had everything welded in yesterday and everything like that. So now I just, I have the switches and everything run for the gauges. Now the only thing I have to do, there you go, wideband. Now the only thing I have to do is actually run the wiring the rest of the way in completion to the gauge and get it lit up and everything like that. So I have to first back the car up onto the blocks here, and then we can get to the wiring underneath. I'll put it up on jack stands. I can get to the wires. We'll run the wires where they got to be and get it wired up and be good to go. So first, let's get that done. Do a little cold start for you guys. I know everybody loves the sound of this car. Why not do it at 7 o'clock in the morning? I didn't anticipate the hatch to close, but nonetheless, the car looks much better with the hatch closed. I don't hate the look, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not, it's not my favorite ideal looking car, things like that, but I don't hate the look. So now everybody always says lower your car, lower your car. You can see it's still riding at pretty much stock ride height, and I still can't get a jack underneath of it. But for now, I'm not gonna lower the car until we have all the bugs worked out. So let me get it up on the jack stands, and we're gonna get this wideband wired up. We have that. I will actually crawl under there and show you where I welded in the wideband, because like I said, everything that we are doing to this car is in preparation to go forced induction. So the wideband actually says to move it 36 inches past the supercharger or turbo, things like that, because the temperatures down there run awfully hot. So with that being said, and for it being a Corvette also, there's really no room under this tunnel to put sensors in anywhere. So I could have put them down there right at the bend there for the headers, but when I go forced induction like I plan on doing with this car, I have a feeling that it would have got too hot for the sensor and things like that. So I just did the safe bet and had him welded in. See if I can turn this around. I just had him welded in right here, which we'll have no issues with. So right here's the sensor. We have it, before the over the axle pipe, which I thought was the best bet. I tried to call a couple people, nobody answered yesterday when we were doing this, and I was definitely on a time constraint yesterday because my kids play softball, so I was trying to get the softball at a reasonable time. So that's where I decided to put it. I did do one on this side also, because eventually I am going to run 2 widebands just to monitor everything and monitor everything safely. So let me find a place to drill a hole, and as you can see here, yesterday while we were there, I just sort of tucked the wire up underneath because I didn't have time to do the drilling or wiring. Plus we were on his lift, and time is money in his eyes. Well, in anyone's eyes who owns a business. So I really appreciate him getting me in yesterday and welding these in for me. Like he said, it wasn't the prettiest job, but we needed it, and we needed it quick. So that's what we got. And one thing I'll teach you guys is you definitely get what you pay for. Whew. All right, guys. So I did actually find a hole that was already here. The only thing I did was make it a little bit bigger. There was already a hole there, so I decided, hey, why not just, since there's already a hole, just widen it out a little bit, and we can run the sensor up through that. So that's what we're gonna do. I am gonna go ahead and get all this other stuff cleaned up out of here, but I'm telling you guys, like, it has been just one thing after another after another after another with this car. So with that being said, let me go ahead and get it off the jack stands here, and we're gonna go up into the cab and we're gonna do the wiring for the wideband. Pretty much the first time you guys are gonna see this. Now, if you guys know, or you're not new to the channel, you know how much of a mess this whole ordeal was. It was pretty much, I'd say, to put it nicely, there was just a spaghetti clump right here of wires and it went, you know, wherever it had to go, or whatever, you know, whatever, what have you. So I actually took time this weekend. I ended up putting both the relays here, you know, running the wires down over here. And I know it's not 100%, you know, perfect, but for now, you know, to try to get rid of some of that wiring, that's what I had to do. So it's not the prettiest, but it is here, it is done, and hopefully we can get some actually good dyno numbers and dyno pulls later here this week. So like I said, I am prepping for the YouTuber call out. Again, you can see here, I ended up, since we don't have the wipers or anything anymore, because this is not going to be a street car, you know, it's not going to be an everyday street car, but it's not going to be an everyday street car, but we do have like the wires, you know, run here in an actual loom now, under the cow and things like that. But I must say, guys, it definitely made this engine bay look 10 times better. I do plan on cleaning everything up. I know everyone's always like, oh, clean that engine bay up, do this, do that, do that. It's all fine and dandy, guys, but keep in mind, I do have, you know, a career that I do, and this is sort of just for fun. So it gets a little busy. Sometimes I don't want to come home and clean an engine bay and things like that. Actually, every day I don't want to, but we are making strides in the right direction. We have everything wired nicely here, and it actually looks good. You know, when you pop the hood, it looks presentable now. So last thing is I got to find a way to get this nitrous purge somewhere so that I can actually purge it, and it, you know, it purges nicely. So I'm going to do that, but I'm going to finish wiring up the Y band inside here. If it was last week, if it was last week, I probably wouldn't give a shit.
Then we're done.
Are you sure? I don't think the 200 is gonna blow it up.
You tell me what you want me to do.
Especially now that I have an air fuel gauge, I can read it if I need to let out.
Yeah, well, you're not gonna be looking at that all the time when you're racing.
I agree, but
That's the problem.
Never drive this car in the rain. Whoopsie! Good news is we're not very far from home. We're only about 15-20 minutes from home, so we'll take the back roads just to be safe. Alright guys, so I wanted to talk about a couple things. So first and foremost, I learned today that it doesn't matter, you know, one day the dyno will read one number, the next day it could read completely different, and I did absolutely nothing different but change fuel filters, air filters, things like that. So I'm not upset, you know, but we are hoping for the best. The car's putting down okay power for what it is, so I'm not upset. I'm gonna take it to the call out and we're gonna send it, guys. So if you like the content, hit that like button, please subscribe, and we'll see you in the next update.